welcome to the Dark Grey project. Most of our active members running night vision now since several years, and whenever we show up at a field or we talk about night vision to our friends and family, we have the same topics all over again and again. So today we want to talk about the 6 most typical topics. Mystery number 1 is the one we are seriously asked the most is, do you get blinded if someone points a flashlight in your knots? Well, first of all, no. And I want to believe that the main reason for that is the movie Patriot games, when these baddies come down the stairs with the night vision, and then the goodies turn on the switch, and then everybody's so blind, and then they kill off the bad guys. This is not necessarily the case. Most modern night vision are auto-gated, which means as soon as too much light comes in the night vision, it either dials down or it completely turns off. And even the older ones, which are not auto-gated, you don't get blinded, but it is still quite disturbing if you walk around in the dark, suddenly puts a bright flashing light in your face. That is the annoying part, and that can be disturbing or disruptive, how you want to call it. Mystery number 2 is, are Gen 0, 1 or the cheap ones from Call of Duty, are they okay for airsoft? Well, we are basically talking about any kind of night vision which requires IR light to see anything when it gets a little bit darker. And you might be surprised that we're saying, yes, they're perfectly legit night vision for airsoft. As long as you don't fight anyone with better knots, or you fight with people with better knots. Walking around with IR light constantly basically gives away your own position, and especially cone of view. And the enemy can easily predict then what you're looking at and where you're moving and plan accordingly. Secondly, your own team, which have potentially better knots, might consider you as a liability.
Fucking IR and my guy!
Because you're not just giving away, again, your position around corners, or you basically highlight yourself in a building. No, you're also highlighting your own teammates and basically put a big target on them. Question number 3. Do you really need an IR laser to shoot with night vision? Well, you need some type of a sighting solution to aim your gun with knots, and iron sights are not cutting it, because of this whole focus on lens problem with night vision. Because you can either set the focus so you can see sharp at a distance, close up, or something in between. Coming back to the IR laser topic, it is just one option. An active one, because then the enemy can see you. A passive option would be to use a red dot sight. Ideally a real still one, and ideally night vision compatible. And even if it's not night vision compatible, they still work perfectly fine for a brief amount of time if it's not too dark. Mystery number 4. Do you need a bino knot setup in order to run fast? Sure, a bino setup allows you to have depth perception, which is great, but it's also heavier compared to a mono setup. The bino setup also obviously lets you see more, and for some people it reduces the headaches which they get from a mono setup. Now, depth perception is obviously great because you see things in 3D. However, we're using mono setup now since years, and we're running around quite a lot. And we're running over quite unfriendly terrain, like in the woods with all the branches on the ground, street with rubble, high grass, and so on. So how are we doing this? Well, it's quite simple. We are setting the focus for infinity, so we see everything sharp at a distance, which is where our enemies are. Now, when we're moving over terrain, we remember what we saw, and when we then come to the complicated parts, we know what's below us and adjust accordingly. Yes, that takes a little training and getting used to, but seriously, it works just fine. Coming back to the binos. At your feet, the bino setup is still quite blurred because, again, it is just 2 knots, so it doesn't really make it sharp close up. So just because you can navigate better, it doesn't allow you to run a lot faster. Plus, also, don't forget that your monitor is 2D, and trust me, you can run 3D games there just fine. Question number 5, which we hear frequently, does the movies show night vision correctly? Well, more and more movies do indeed have night vision scenes, but most of them don't show real night vision footage. They just fake it with low light, and then they just make it green, add a little bit of noise, and so on, and TV shows make it even worse. The problem, what prevents them to film correct night vision footage, is the fact that you have your one lens of the camera and then the 2 lenses from your knots. And trust me, it's already hard enough to get sharp cinema quality movie material with one lens. Now you just got close and everything gets even worse. So Lone Survivor had a good scene, but they had a crap ton of IR light to make it work. Zero Dark 30 had a proper scene outside, but as soon as they went inside, they start using fake, again because the whole lens and focus problem. The Gunman or Cesario had straight up just fake ones, and most TV shows have fake ones as well. The primary way for us to see if it's fake or real night vision footage is how the materials behave with IR light and in general under night vision, but more about this in an upcoming movie from us. Number 6 and our last question today. In darkness, can you see with knots? Well, I want to start here with a little rant about our airsoft celebrity guy who took a smartphone, pointed in the night and said, "Oh, look, you see nothing, it's pitch black." And then he moved it behind his PVS-14 and ooh, magic, you suddenly see everything. First of all, if there would be actually no light, so actually it's pitch darkness, your PVS-14 wouldn't see anything either, and no, he did not use IR light. Secondly, the reasons why it was obviously pitch darkness because you use a smartphone camera and you need a really, really good camera to see a little bit at the moment where night vision can see something. Thirdly, you would be surprised how well your eyes can adapt and see at night, especially when the sky is clear and you have a full moon. We got shot at night by guys who did not use night vision or flashlight because we got cocky and they stayed cool. And I have no problem to admit one of the guys who got shot was me. So yes, that can easily happen. So I hope our small little video was entertaining and even a little bit informative. If you still have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Have a good one.